How's it going, guys? My name's Shane. Welcome back to the Horror Basement, and today we're going to be talking about House 2, the sequel to the 1986 movie House that I covered in my last proper movie review video. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and check that one out. It's the video before this in the Netflix horror playlist where I talk about all the horror movies you can stream on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu occasionally. So the entire reason I decided to watch this movie after watching House was the subtitle. The full title of this movie is House 2, The Second Story. Get it? It's the pun. Like the second, like the second floor of a house is sometimes referred to as the second story. So, despite being called the second story, this movie has absolutely nothing to do with the original. We don't see the return of Roger, his son, the titular house from the first movie. Everything is completely different, and there's no reference made to the first movie. From what I've seen, the only correlation is the same like core group of people worked on it. This is still a Sean S. Cunningham, Fred Mancini, and also we see another appearance of Kane Hodder in this, and this time he's dressed up as a gorilla, and he falls from the second story down to the first story, as he is a stuntman by trade. So this movie follows Jesse and his drunk asshole friend Charlie, as they get into a bunch of hijinks in a big house that Jesse has recently inherited. And now Jesse and Charlie both have girlfriends, but they don't really affect the plot in any meaningful way. So Jesse, upon getting this house, discovers that his great-grandfather was buried with a crystal skull that his great-grandfather and his great-grandfather's business partner, and or partner in crime, Slim Razor, stole from, I guess, like Native Americans or from a Mayan temple or something. So Jesse and Charlie decide to dig up his great-great-grandfather to see if the skull is buried with him. And lo and behold, it turns out that Jesse's great-great-grandfather, or just Grandpa as we'll call him from here on out, he is still alive, and the magic of the crystal skull has kept him alive, and he is basically a zombie prospector cowboy type. And this trio, now including Grandpa, gets into a bunch of hijinks for a good 20 minutes. Basically the joke being like he's from the Old West and he doesn't understand the modern accoutrement of the 1980s. So if none of this sounds particularly scary, that's because unlike House, the first one, which was a pretty equal blend of like horror and comedy, this one is more, I guess, what you'd call a supernatural horror, or a supernatural comedy. Like there are elements, like there's magic and there's zombies running around and pterodactyls and cavemen and shit, but it's not trying to be scary, it's trying to be funny. And even then, I don't think this one is as funny as the first one. When the first one was trying to be funny, it got a couple chuckles out of me, but this one, it kind of falls flat. So as I mentioned, the main villain of this, other than a caveman and a pterodactyl and some Mayans that keep showing up through these portals in the house, is Slim Razor, Grandpa's old partner turned rival. And Slim Razor, he looks like Yosemite Sam, and a sleep paralysis demon had a love child, and that's Slim Razor. And of course Jesse has a big gunfight, Old West style, with Slim Razor in the end. But other than that, not really a whole lot to talk about with this one. Bill Maher's in it kind of briefly, which is interesting. But the only notable thing about this movie is Bippy. Bippy is a caterpillar dinosaur, or he's a caterpillar puppy hybrid that they bring home through a portal from prehistoric times, and Bippy becomes their like cute little dog as they all go through these hijinks together. So other than Bippy and Kane Hodder in a gorilla suit, not a lot to say about this one. I'd honestly skip it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure about, because there are two more sequels in, if you can call them that, in the House series, but it seems like the third one also has nothing to do with the original, and then they bring Roger back for like the fourth one, but I'm not gonna cover those two. So yeah, go ahead and watch. I would recommend watching House, the original, but go ahead and skip this one. It's a comedy. Not so much, unless supernatural comedy is your thing, then I guess go ahead. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment if you have something that you want me to review, and hit that subscribe button to join the Basement Army today, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.